welcome back to But First Coffee, where life begins after coffee. In today's video, we are going to talk about contouring. No wait, not that kind of contouring. Contouring. No wait, not that one either. Right there, that's the one we're going to talk about. You guys have been requesting a Battle of the Drugstore contour palettes, and I am here to give that to you guys today. If you're new to my Battles of the Drugstore beauty products, I will link all of my past battles in the down bar. Basically, I go out and pick up 5 of the same kind of product from different brands from the drugstore. We battle them out here and see which one is the best. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First into the ring, we have Maybelline's FaceStudio Master Contour. This costs $13 and comes in 2 different shade options, either light to medium or medium to deep. And it features a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. This palette is really easy to use because it just has 3 simple powders. It's all you need to contour and highlight, so it makes it really simple. The color is lightweight but buildable, and it also lasts quite well throughout the day. The bronzer for me is a nice silky matte bronzer, so it's perfect for contouring. I like that it's a little more lightweight, that I can sort of build it up. The only one that sort of fell short for me was the highlighter. It's got shimmer in there, but also a tiny bit of micro glitter, which I don't love in my highlighters. I don't find it super flattering, but overall this is just a really nice, easy, like 3-step contour palette. Our next contender is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour Palette. This cost $15, and it has 3 bronzer powders for contouring, 2 finishing powders for highlighting, and 2 merged baked highlighters. The formula on these powders is really quite silky and well pigmented, but allows you to build up the color. The bronzers have good color, but they're buildable, so you can sort of work up to the color that you want. And the 2 baked highlighters at the end have amazing illumination properties. Now this palette is definitely for somebody who wants a little bit more options when it comes to contouring and highlighting. So I definitely wouldn't suggest this if you're sort of a beginner in highlighting, contouring, because you wouldn't know what to do with all of these powders. But if you're somebody who's looking to sort of up your game a little bit and you want a little bit more options, I really like this palette a lot. For only $15, you get 8 different highlighting and contouring colors. They're really pretty nice formula. They last pretty well. They could last a tiny bit longer, but overall the stain power is quite well. So overall, I really enjoy this palette for the price point. Third into the ring, we have the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Contour. This costs $13, has just 2 powders, a highlight and a bronzer, and it comes in 3 different color options. It claims that these are buildable powders that will blend effortlessly into the skin with a fade-proof finish. I like the simplicity of this palette, that it was just like contour and highlight and that's it. However, I found the formula to be lacking. It was a little too powdery in my opinion, and there really wasn't enough pigmentation to either of the 2 colors, which made it a little bit disappointing to use. I just found it to be too powdery with not enough color. Next up, we are going to go for Ulta's Sculpting palette. This costs $14, comes in 3 different color options, and has a matte bronzer, a matte blush, and a highlight. Like the Maybelline, this one is really nice because it's easy to use. You just get a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. I found that both the bronzer and the blush were really nice and easy to use. For me, the bronzer and the one that I picked up was a tiny bit warm toned for me, but I really enjoyed the blush a lot. The formulas of these powders were super nice. I thought that they lasted really well. The highlighter had some pros and cons sort of depending on what you wanted. It wasn't a super glowy highlighter. It was more of a really lightweight, natural highlighter. So it's really nice for somebody if you kind of want to get the effect of a highlighter, but you don't want to go on for like a full unicorn cheek, you know what I mean? Or you're a little bit nervous to go into some of the more pigmented highlighters. But overall, I think this is a nice little palette. I really have enjoyed using it. Our final contender in this battle is the NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. This costs a whopping $25. That's kind of a lot for a drugstore product, I'm not gonna lie. But you get a lot in this palette. You get 4 matte bronzers, 2 finishing powders, and 2 highlighters. Now the bronzers themselves are really nice and creamy. They're almost too pigmented in some ways that it really was hard to like build up the color. It was just like, bam, there's bronzer in your face. The finishing powders and highlighters left something to be desired in my opinion. This first highlighter on the end is okay, but the rest really just didn't do anything for me. These 2 in the middle were almost like non-existent. When I used them, it was almost like I was putting nothing on my face, which was really disappointing because I have the NYX Strobe of Genius palette, I think it's called, and it's their highlighter palette, and I like love all of those highlighters. So like I wish that they had stuck some of those highlighters in here, because these ones just really left something to be desired. So this one just had some pros and cons to it, to be honest. For $25, I don't know if it was worth it. Alright guys, well that was all 5 of the palettes, so let's talk about losers and winners. As always, my winners are sometimes different than what you guys would pick, which is why I try to kind of show all of these products so you guys can sort of see them and make an informed decision. But for me, the first one that I definitely didn't love at all, I'm just gonna get rid of it, is the L'Oreal one. These were just really powdery. There wasn't enough pigmentation. The highlighter was just way too yellow for me, so kind of a bummer. Of the remaining 4, we kind of have 2 twins. We have the Ulta and the Maybelline. These are the perfect sort of beginner palettes if you're just looking to dabble in contouring and highlighting a little bit. The only big difference is with this one you get 3 different color options, so you can sort of choose the bronzer tone and the blush that you want. Then the other difference is the highlighter on this one is definitely more of a really sort of obvious in your face highlighter, while this one is a little more subtle. So if you're looking for an easy go-to palette, I highly suggest either of these. It's just a matter of if you want a little more highlight or if you want a more subtle highlight. And when it comes down to the sort of more advanced palettes, you have the NYX and the Makeup Revolution. For me, the winner here was definitely the Makeup Revolution ones. I found that the highlighters that were in here were way more pigmented and a lot more flattering, and then the bronzers themselves are really nice. And then not to mention, this one is $10 cheaper, and I also love that they've packaged it. Look at how much smaller of a palette this one is. So just for ease of keeping it and traveling with it, it is a heck of a lot smaller and thinner, and so it's just a lot easier to take around. So I hope this helps you next time you're at the drugstore or Ulta or online or doing whatever you're doing and you decide you want to get yourself a contour palette. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have requests for other drugstore beauty product battles, then leave them for me in the comments down below. I use your comments to choose the next battles. So definitely leave comments down below if there's one that you've been looking for. Even if you've asked for it in the past, ask for it again so it sort of stays on the forefront. But that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. If this is your first time finding my channel, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any more of my videos. And I will see you all in my next video. Looking. What are you looking at? I'm trying to film a video here.